Chris, just by way of introduction, you're on the autism spectrum. You're also a three-time Olympian, two-time world champion, and bronze medalist. And you're currently working as a computer engineer at Autism.
Um, Management. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, I'm a software manager with or engineering manager with Jira Service Management.
Oh, great. Well, thanks for joining me. Perhaps if you can walk through sort of your journey as an athlete, your diagnosis, and how that had an impact on both training and now through into your sort of professional life, if you like.
Okay. So long story there. Obviously, my diagnosis came later in life, but I had inklings of being different, of wondering, why does everyone else seem to get this and I'm missing something? And yeah, when we were little, the diagnosis wasn't a thing. And I did find out about it in my adult life. That did put a lot of pieces of the puzzle together. But it wasn't until years later that I actually did get the official diagnosis. And to be honest, it was great in that while it didn't change anything for me or my understanding, it was very validating to know I had the community. It was also it felt like it gave me permission to bring it up more to other people and to really be able to work through differences for the good of everyone. Up till that point, and even beyond that point, it's not an instant solution. But up till that point, there was a lot of friction on the personal side of things because in sports, obviously, there's a lot of time spent together in close quarters. There's a lot of expectation of high social bonds, a lot of interaction, and more to the point, even on the sports performance thing, performing in a team sport, there is a large element of that connection to others, um, that deep drive you feel for wanting to perform for someone who you consider a friend or even family. So that interpersonal dynamic is so important, and not being able to see eye to eye or to understand each other truly, that created tension that just wasn't good for performance in general. So yeah, it was really good to go through and get that official diagnosis and start to really have those conversations of let's bring out in the open what people had at till that point squashed and assumed incorrect conclusions.
Being diagnosed while you're sort of in your competitive career and working in teams then, do you think that that's kind of some of those aspects of sport have kind of helped you with how you interact in your professional life now?
I wouldn't say any one of them came before the other. So as I started with this, I know that I was different from day dot. And for me, it's been a journey of 30 plus years of how do I adapt? How do I move forward? How do I make myself better than I was the day before? Now that to me is the essence of what I live by. That's what drove me to do well in my studies, drove me to do well in my sport, to do well in my career, was the want to chase something more, the want to get better. And sure, the diagnosis offered up new opportunities, new tools to have conversations, but I would be saying it's the everyday learning and adaptation that really helped. And my career definitely came in parallel with my sport. So I was feeding lessons from there into sport and vice versa, and from home and social life into the two of those. They're all interconnected and they're all developing as once. Now, Um, definitely the desire to want to improve all of those was the key thing. Even the diagnosis in and of itself wouldn't have changed a thing unless I was willing to have the conversations with those around me and to take on board the feedback I got from them, as well as for them to take on board the honest feedback I had for them. Unless there's an appetite to change, the diagnosis wouldn't do anything.
You've been quoted as sort of saying that you see your autism as a bit of a strength in a lot of ways. Well, what advice would you have for others on the spectrum sort of looking to succeed?
Basically, just comes down to the point that I raised before of it's the desire to get better. It doesn't matter if you're on the spectrum or not. You have a unique set of attributes. Some people are 7 foot tall, some people are flexible, some people can look at the world in a different way. And that can be advantageous in some cases and disadvantageous in other ways. But it's about defining who you are, trying to take stock of what do I have to offer the world, trying to take stock of what opportunities do I have in front of me to grow. So, it's all too common for people to say, oh, I have this, or I am this, or due to this, I can't succeed. Often they're used as shields to protect ourselves from failure. Whereas I sort of take it from the opposite direction and saying, okay, well, we have got what we've got. We've got the gifts, we've got the weaknesses, whatever we've got is where we are. So what can we do to make the most of it? What can we do to develop with the opportunities in front of us? We've got to be prepared to say yes. Yeah. What can we do to find the right fit for our strengths? Because often it's not changing yourself, it's changing your environment. In one environment, what is a weakness can be a strength in another environment. And if you can move yourself into a place where you're built to succeed, then you're going to clear the road for actually doing greater things. I know that I will never be a gymnast. There's a lot of things I will never be able to do. But that's because I'm trying to put myself in an environment where my set of strengths aren't a natural fit. So the key point for me is look at what you've got to offer and find the right environment where you can really lean into your strengths and have the chance to open these pathways to grow new areas, to develop new strengths.
Yeah, that's really interesting. It's of course Autism Awareness Month this month.
It is indeed.
So one of the things I wanted to understand from yourself is what would you like to see businesses do differently, or be more aware of, or what can businesses do to create a more friendly environment for people on the spectrum? Yeah.
In workplaces in general, there's a lot of talk about what does it mean to have a diverse team, and often people pull on, oh well, we have a diverse team if we have an equal mix of male and female, or an equal mix of people from racial backgrounds. But that's not the true meaning of a diverse team. A diverse team should be people with different points of view. Now, people aren't resources. People aren't interchangeable widgets, which means that for me to say, you need this in order to be more friendly for people on the spectrum, I think that's wrong, because I think the things I need out of my work environment will probably be different to the things you need and different to the things anyone else on the spectrum needs. And for me, the thing about really embracing having a diverse team is saying, well, diversity means we have all these different unique viewpoints. Now, if we have all these different unique viewpoints, we have all these different unique challenges and unique environments that we need to set up. So different unique supports we need to provide to every employee. So for me, if a business really wants to do right by people on the spectrum, they can do right by people of every different background. And they do that by having individual conversations with every employee and saying, well, what do you need? Now, if you go out there deliberately to just seek the best talent, and hopefully a cohort of that talent is within people on the spectrum,
Mhm.
You then take the people you've got and you say, well, what do I need to do to help you succeed here?
Yeah.
And then put
Yeah.
it back onto those people who are stepping into that role to say, well, you know, I need a quiet space, or I need this particular routine every day, or whatever it is that they feel they need. I don't want to put that into their mouths because I know we're all different.
Yeah, so it's really just about um, learning about the individuals and understanding everybody's sort of individual needs. I think that's pretty basic, but very great advice, I suppose, for businesses to actually just think about the individuals that they're hiring.
Mm.
So just finally, Chris, is there anything special you're doing in the month to celebrate autism awareness this month?
Well, apart from I've already done. So last week, no, yes, last week it was Friday. I attended a talk, and it was also going to be a walkathon for Aspect School up on the Central Coast. Hello out there if it reaches anyone. Had a wonderful time. And for the rest of the time, I'm actually going to go out there and say no. I'm not going to do too much different because I'm generally trying to lead by example and be open and honest and forthright about it 12 months of the year. So I do wait until I see there's an opportunity to have a receptive audience. And if there is, I'll definitely engage. For myself though, I'm looking for that 12 months of the year. Now, thankfully with the official month, there will be more opportunities to have those conversations. But for me, it's just keep an eye out all year round and look at where there are opportunities to spread that message.
Yeah, great. All right, Chris. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to have a quick chat to me.
No worries.